Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something really fascinating. We're going to take diverse, cutting-edge strategies from the worlds of gaming, e-commerce, and tech, and we're pulling them all together into one cohesive master playbook for digital growth. If you're looking to understand how the absolute most successful products scale today, you are in exactly the right place. Let's be real for a second and acknowledge a pretty harsh reality in the current market. The old model of paid user acquisition, it's kind of fundamentally broken. Thanks to major privacy changes across platforms and massive market saturation, buying new users has become wildly expensive. Shrinking profit margins are literally squeezing digital products from every single side. So how do your products not just survive, but actively thrive in this hostile environment? Okay, let's dive into this. Industry expert Eric Sufer completely hit the nail on the head here. He notes that user-level personalization will create a competitive advantage and overtake user acquisition in terms of resourcing. Competing on the quality, depth, and personalization of user experiences, that isn't just a nice-to-have feature anymore. It is the absolute standard for survival. It requires a fundamental shift in how we allocate our time and our capital. So, to get us there, here is our roadmap for today. First, the digital growth playbook. Second, live ops, engaging users constantly. Third, dynamic pricing and revenue. Fourth, navigating pricing ethics. Fifth, social web shops. And finally, number 6, the product manager role. Let's get started. Section 1, the digital growth playbook, shifting focus from acquisition to retention. Because of those shrinking margins we just talked about, we absolutely must shift our focus from acquiring new users to maximizing the value of the ones we already have. Number 2, live ops, engaging users constantly. To see exactly how retention is mastered, we're going to transition into the fast-paced gaming world to introduce our first major strategy. And that strategy is live ops, or live operations. Essentially, live ops involves post-release updates and changes designed to continuously engage users and improve their lifetime value. The ultimate goal here is to do this remotely, ideally without requiring deep developer involvement every time a small change is needed. It's like taking a static product and turning it into a living, breathing, evolving organism that just keeps users coming back for fresh experiences day after day. Now, to actually pull this off, you need the right engine under the hood. There are 4 essential pillars. First, a robust content management system. Next, remote config capabilities. This is huge because it lets you update your app instantly without waiting for App Store approvals. Third, advanced user segmentation, so you're targeting exactly the right people. And finally, rapid A/B testing. Having this infrastructure is what allows a studio to support an infinite pipeline of tests and true user-level personalization. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the real-world impact of those pillars. Let's look at a micro case study of Century Games' title, Frozen City. By fully utilizing a live ops infrastructure, they literally doubled their revenue per download. They hit this 2x multiplier by running up to 8 concurrent live ops events a day. They relied heavily on a rapid reskinning strategy of proven game mechanics to constantly engage completely different segments of their audience. Number 3, dynamic pricing and revenue, maximizing revenue per transaction. Let's move to the next chapter and see how this shifts our focus from gaming right into retail and e-commerce. Here we encounter dynamic pricing. This is the practice of adjusting prices on the fly using complex algorithms that analyze real-time market demands, your current inventory levels, and competitor behavior. Now, it's really important to point out that becoming dynamic isn't just, changing your prices twice a year. True dynamic pricing requires high frequency, multiple layered factors, and total continuous automation behind the scenes. And this brilliantly illustrates the different methodologies at play. We've got time-based pricing adjusting for peak seasons, much like airlines. Segment-based pricing targets specific demographics, offering things like student discounts. Event-based pricing reacts to concerts or holidays, exactly like Ticketmaster. And demand-based pricing reacts instantly to sudden scarcity, just like Uber surge pricing during rush hour. These models allow companies to adapt instantly to whatever the market is doing. Number 4, navigating pricing ethics, the tension between logic and emotion. Naturally, handing algorithms the keys to control what people pay introduces some incredibly complex dynamics between business strategy and consumer sentiment. So let's analyze this tension impartially. According to a report by PwC, shifts in supply and demand are occurring more often and much more rapidly than ever before. A really stark example of this was the overnight depletion of hand sanitizer and face masks during the pandemic. Sudden, massive shifts like that force companies to deeply reevaluate the core rationale behind their pricing methodology, particularly when you're dealing with a crisis or unprecedented demand. Companies are sitting on an absolute gold mine of customer data, so they are understandably eager to leverage it to become more dynamic. But as they do, they have to carefully navigate structural factors like transparency and relatability. Think about it. If customers don't understand the why behind a sudden price surge, trust breaks down rapidly. And in the digital space, consumer trust is essentially your most valuable currency. So, the crucial point is balancing these two realities. On one hand, the business benefits of dynamic pricing are undeniable. You get total revenue optimization, highly precise inventory management, and absolute market adaptability. But on the flip side, the consumer risks are equally potent: perceived unfairness, a sudden distrust in the brand, and severe accusations of price gouging. It's a delicate line that algorithms must be carefully programmed to navigate without crossing over into perceived discrimination. Number 5, social web shops expanding margins off-platform. Let's pivot now to our third major strategy, exploring how companies are finding completely new ways to expand their distribution and sidestep traditional hurdles. The strategic benefit of driving users to direct-to-consumer web shops is massive. Why? Primarily because it allows developers to bypass those heavy App Store fees. However, App Stores generally restrict you from promoting external links directly in the app. Because of that, companies have to build external community channels. This unlocks zero-cost user acquisition through web referrals, implementing exclusive community clan rewards where groups of users actually unlock discounts together, and ultimately boosting the average spend per user. The core psychological driver here is absolutely brilliant. You are turning your existing web shoppers into active promoters. By using social incentives, referral programs, and collaborative rewards, you're leveraging the exact same social dynamics that make multiplayer gaming so incredibly popular. You build deep trust, and you encourage users to organically market your shop directly to their friends. Essentially, you're making them partners in your growth. Number 6, the product manager role, orchestrating the playbook. To actually pull off live ops, dynamic pricing, and social web shops, you need a human architect. Someone has to connect these highly complex cross-functional systems. Enter the product manager. Looking at tech recruiting data outlining this role, it's pretty clear why they are so vital. A product manager conducts deep market research, builds the product roadmap, utilizes agile methodologies, drives A/B testing based on hard data, and is constantly balancing technical realities against business goals. If you look closely, these are the exact skills required to execute every single strategy we've explored today. If you want to scale a product today, the PM is the engine of your playbook. Which brings us to a final provocative question for your own strategy. Is your digital product actively adapting to this market, or is it stuck in the past? I really hope the structured strategies we've covered today inspire you to totally rethink your approach to retention, monetization, and growth. Keep exploring, keep optimizing, and thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.